Hello again, listeners, and welcome back to the Kotu Classic FPL podcast. I'm your host, Solomon, and I have my co-host with me today, Mr. Chama, Mr. 356 rank, the lowest rank on this pod, and probably, I think, in the mini league. So congrats for breaking the barrier again, all the way to the top.
Yeah, it's good. It's going pretty well. Like you see, 3.3 3 5 6. That's the best rank I ever had. So the
Mhm.
best rank we ever had on the
Yeah.
on the board here. So yeah, and you are not doing badly yourself. So I think you are also on a very good rank. Like I think this is your best rank this season,
Yeah, it's my
120K.
best rank ever.
So
Yeah.
so yeah, we both are not doing badly. The green arrows, boy smiling like you used to say it. So yeah, bring on game week 29. What's up, man?
Let's go. Not much, man. At least it could have been better. But we'll discuss. We'll get into that in a moment. Let's start with you. Your team review for 28, double game week 28. You did well, obviously. So take us through the glory game week.
Yeah, let me just bring up my team. Yeah, I was on the bench boost, It was a grand plan started from game week 26 when I wildcarded free hit in 27 and then 28 it was all planned for the bench boost. And I'm happy to get over with the bench boost because it's that cheap, that you wanna prepare for make the best squad you have. So the fact that I got rid of it and it was a successful bench boost, 129 points in total. Looking at the bench, you have about 28 points on the bench, which is a bench boost pointer that will take on any given game week. So yeah, it was good. So like I said, 129 overall points, which shoot me into the top 500 in the world. Now I am 356 from 1,200. So I had about 75% rise in rank at that.
Wow.
That was a huge week for me. And it started well because Rhys James, of course, I have to mention him. He was my transfer in last game week. A lot of variance happened there, and nobody expected him to come and score 36
Mm-hmm.
points, especially missing one of the two doubles. But yeah, I still feel a little bit disappointed that he missed the Norwich game because I think it could have been bloodbath if he played
It would
in
have
that
been
game.
it would have been unfair.
It would have been crazy number of points. I
No,
think it would have
honestly.
been crazy.
Yeah,
It would have been crazy.
I think most of us that didn't own him were just we lit a candle and we are praying for
Yeah,
the
maybe.
injury.
Yeah, it was you guys then. It was you guys who caused that injury. So I blame you
we
guys.
had to man, because it would have been bloody, because I was like, man, because most managers had a choice of two. It's either the safe option or the higher ceiling option, but also possible chance of injury.
Mhm.
I think I was listening to a pod yesterday. I think the official FPL pod, that was saying, one of the guys said that I think both scenarios happened in one,
Yeah,
where he got injured, which is what some managers were fearing that went to read a guy like myself, and he
yeah,
also hauled. So
yeah. Everything
it
happened in that
balanced
in that
out. Yeah,
game. It balanced
yeah.
out. But yeah, I was happy to see Rudiger rested at the end of the day because yeah, that balanced out the everyone got everyone got the one game. But yeah, my team I had Jose Sa in goal with 9 points
Mm-hmm.
with the double. They did not start inspiring. Like their game week did not start by like they were not so good in the first game, and then the second game they kept the clean sheet with a good performance, I would say. So 9 points in defense. I had Reece James with the 36, Roman size 6, Lucas Digne. Fortunately, he came back from his COVID situation and then kept the clean sheet in the second game, so I would take that. Trent Alexander-Arnold 12 points, and Rafinha in the middle 3, Ramsey 6, Son 7, Salah 3. And up top I have Jimenez and Broha. Broha was the disappointment in the team, and
Yeah.
Rafinha of course. And my bench was Ramsdale, Lacazette, Van Dijk, and Saka. So again, my Arsenal boys gave me 22 points. You see why I love doubling up with them, tripling up, and I don't mind tripling up with them. But also, I told you, like Salah, Trent, there was not much in there to
Mm-hmm.
justify hits. To
Hits. Yeah.
yeah, and then Salah, Trent outscored Salah again, which has been a very regular team this season. Even though Salah is the highest point scorer in this season, but Trent has been outscoring him in many game
Consistent.
weeks
Yeah.
consistently. So yeah, Yeah, just saying that. But yeah, 129 for me, boy. I cannot ask for more. It could have been better, but yeah, I will take
Successful
that.
bench boost, because bench boost is a tricky one. You know, it's the chip that works the least, because unless you have a double game week, you know, but mostly if it's just a single game week, you never know. Even a team that is highly rated can just decide to not turn up, and then you know. So yeah, it's a successful one.
It was a successful one, definitely,
Yeah,
definitely. But now talk us through your game week. Of course, you were on
man,
the wild card.
I
You
was
have to
on the wild
yeah,
card.
you have to tell the listeners why you jumped from the wild card, because like we recorded last
uh,
Friday, and
mhm.
the wild card was not on the cards. But then
It wasn't on the cards, to be honest.
after we
Yeah,
recorded, the wild card came into play, and I think it was a successful wild card. It could have been better,
it
of
was a
course, at least
successful wild card.
to hit 100 points,
Mhm.
3 more points to hit 100. So talk us through your team.
I mean, last week, I think before the Chelsea game was announced, I wasn't thinking of playing the wild card, to be honest, because I had enough players, you know, with double game weeks, you know, and I could do well this game even without playing the wild card. But once I started making the moves, and once the Chelsea fixture was added, I was like, okay, I need to really get this. And it was going to about maybe -12. I wanted to get Salah back in. You know, also wanted to get Trent in for a hit. So I was like, I think you made my mind up that okay, I don't think this is viable. On the pod, we were discussing it, and I agreed. I said yes, you're right. Because once you start getting into those ridiculous hits, and then you realize that okay, why not just play the best you can play? Use this opportunity, play the wild card, also factor in game week 30, and then yeah, it looks good. My team looks good, man. Honestly, you know, even though I'm still missing the ruin the missed chances, which I should have. I was thinking of James, because James is my type of player. You know, I always had him when he was playing,
Mm.
but then it was just I wasn't sure that he was going to play, and you know I missed out.
And you had to
Captaincy
see,
option.
and you had to
Hmm?
see a little bit of points flying there. You know, the foam
Yeah,
hitting
I
the.
was like, man, I was like, this is almost. Well, I was like, okay, this is fine. And also my captaincy, like Rafinha, who I think it was a it could have gone anywhere, to be honest. You
Yeah,
know, I heard
definitely.
that I didn't watch the game, but I heard that he came close to scoring in the first game. You know, I captained him. I've never captained Rafinha this season, even though he was doing very well. But for some reason, I said, okay, this captaincy is it doesn't, you know, because I played the wild card late, so therefore the captaincy wasn't something I was thinking about. So I had
Yeah.
to captain a player who had a double fixture. It could have been either Coutinho or Rafinha, and I think somebody else. I can't remember. It was between three people.
Jimenez. Oh,
I think Kane also. I can't remember today.
okay.
Yeah,
Kane was a single game week player.
single game week. Somebody else. I can't really remember. But it was between three options. So I ended up with Rafinha anyways. But you know,
Rudiger. Did you consider Rudiger?
I think maybe Rudiger, yeah, because he had a double. But you
Yeah.
know me and captaining defenders. The only defender that I really consider captaining is Trent. That's all. And even if I did captain him, I would have gotten 24 points. Much more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah. To be
Yeah.
honest, I couldn't ask for more.
Uh
Go
huh.
on.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention about Rafinha. I think, like you said, you were very unlucky. The first game
Mhm.
of the game week, which was the first of the double, that his underlying numbers was better than any player in the game week, not
Mm-hmm.
just for
Yep.
Leeds, but any player. He exceeded an XGI of more than one. He had a big chance in the 6 yards saved by Michael, and he was very explosive. He had a lot of shots in that game. He should have won. Of course, the second game was very uninspiring. Leeds were uninspiring as a team, and Rafinha was looking like a player who was done. You know, he don't want to play for Leeds anymore. He was really
Mm,
not in that game. But the first game week, I would say you are very, very, very consider yourself very unlucky not to get the haul from him.
yeah. Oh, that's yeah, I didn't watch the game, but I heard all those things. The second game was what I didn't really get any feedback from. So 97 points, no hits, wildcard played, and Kulusevski is on my bench with 10 points. Just looking at me. So taking you through my team, I played a 4-3-3. I haven't played this formation in a while because of this how poor the strikers have been. In goal, I had Sa. I had Rudiger with Sa with 9 points, Rudiger with six, Saiz with six, Trent with 12, Dean with six. He came back in the second game. I guess I was praying that he didn't come back so that Kulusevski could sub in with 10 points. But six is not bad. I'll take six. Coutinho start off my week with 23 points. Salah with 3, Rafinha with 6, Jimenez, who also scored. I was thinking of bringing him out after the first game, but he did well. 9 points. Broha with 4, disappointment over there. And then Kane with 13 points. And then on the bench, I have Ramsdale with 2, Kulusevski 10, Tierney 1, and Gordon 2.
Yeah.
And a game week rank of 1.1 million, which the game week average was 68. So 1.1 is a bit high. So that means a lot of managers got about 100 points and above. Yeah. So that was my game week. It was the Green Boys. So my rank rose from about 135k to 120k.
15K
So
rank rise. Not bad.
yeah, not bad, honestly.
And
I'll take that.
you are pretty set for game week 29 and 30. Should be a green
Pretty
week for
set for
you.
29 and 30. Yeah. I'm thinking about playing the bench boost, but we'll talk about that later on at the end of the pod.
All right.
So, talking about results and recap, did you watch any games that really inspired you or really was exciting for you?
I watch a few. Yeah, I think that is our flaw here. We don't watch a lot of football. Of course, Liverpool usually I
There
watch
was a
their
lot of
games.
football.
Yeah, there was a lot of football, and some of them were so late for me to watch them and things like that. So I did not see all the games. I did not see even the Man United game. So I just saw the highlights, saw the goals, Mahrez, KDB doing their stuff. And the first game, the Leeds Leicester game, that is the one game that I saw because it was pretty. The timing was right for me to watch that one. And yeah, I did watch the Chelsea game in bits and saw that James scored, in the second half, and that was beautiful for me to see. But yeah, I did not see. To be honest, I did not see a lot of games. In terms of full games, but I know what really happened. Yeah, did you watch any of the games?
I don't think I did, to be honest. I think I watched the Tottenham 5-0. I was
Yeah.
walking and then watching it. I was like, wow. I guess when I came to score, and Kulusevski, he was doing so well. He impressed me so much. I just, was just looking at him, gathered the points on my bench. Very, very unfortunate. But I mean, it's either Spurs are really brilliant, a really brilliant team, or Everton is really poor. And for the first time, I think for the whole first half, they never registered any shots. They were just poor. It's sad to see a team like who we are used to seeing in the Premier League, challenge or give some really good games, be that far at the bottom, and it's very scary right now for them.
Yeah, definitely. It's very scary. It's very scary for Everton. But yeah, it's Everton, and at the end of the day, as like I always tell you, they are not a great team. And Tottenham, they can be great and they can be very bad sometimes. That is the nature of Tottenham. They are very
Very, very
unpredictable.
inconsistent. Yeah.
But I think now they are beginning to find the team that they want, and that could work. That could put them in good stead, going forward. Kane is going back to the Kane we know. Son continues to do what Son does, and Kulusevski, like you say, he's a very, very well fit player for this Tottenham team. He has added something to their team. And then you have players like Doherty, they are getting revived. Their defense, Dyer is looking like the deal. Batancourt or Batancourt.
Oh yeah, he was also very impressive.
He's very impressive in their middle. They are looking like a very, very solid team. But again, it's Tottenham. They can do exceptional things this week and then do terrible next week. So that's the only caveat to that. But I think they looked impressive, to be honest. I watched bits of that game. So yeah. Arsenal. I watch Arsenal too, by the way. Arsenal are looking
against Watford.
Yeah, I did watch the game. Watford did give them a fight because Watford are fighting for relegation, so they wanted to, go for it. Arsenal went 3-1 up, and there was some exceptional goal. Kucho score and bicycle kick, a beautiful goal.
Wow.
Yeah, and Arsenal, Saka and Martinelli were on fire. They scored some exceptional goal. The Martinelli goal was just top notch. Saka is looking like he has gone up a level again in this Arsenal team. He's looking like the star player in the team. Like I said, he's not scoring a lot of goals, but he's leading the attack. He's bringing people into play. He's looking like an assist merchant. He's not. I don't think he will gonna give you a lot of goals, but he's gonna create a lot of chances because the way he plays, he's looking like a Firmino for Arsenal. The way Firmino play, he become that high. The attackers are Saka and Martinelli. If you wanna go, I think those are the two to target. Of course, I have like I said in my team, but if you wanna goals from the Arsenal team, I think those two players are the players to target. They look really impressive, and now they are into the top 4. and their team is very young. Their team is looking energetic. I think that fourth place will be theirs to lose now, in my opinion.
Mhm. I think they deserve it, man, because they've been playing really consistent football, and the team is young. That's what you want to see in a team, like a team that is, motivated to, to have results. And it's a young team; they can do whatever they want with the team because they have
Yeah,
that many, capable players. Yeah. Manchester United, the less said the better against Man City because I
yeah,
already saw this coming from a mile away. It was no
yeah.
surprise to me.
Yeah, that was a
Mhm.
trashy, and that was a poor performance from Mania. I did not watch it, but I read and I
Yeah,
heard, I listened to the analysis. They say Man United was just so poor. They did not compete, and sometimes you can lose a game. It's okay to lose a football match, but
mentally,
at
but
least,
yeah.
you have to compete, especially in a derby game like that. You have to compete, and Man United on that day they failed to do that. There was at some point in that game for 15 minutes, Man City were having like 90% of possession, and Man United were
Mhm.
losing. Even though it's Manchester City, we know they like to keep the ball. But as your rivals, you have to, you have to show some attitude. You have to show some intent. Even though you are losing, you have to show some like some spirit. This is your biggest rival. You see your homemade like local rival.
Even
You
even
have to
if you were
compete.
last at the bottom of the table, if you are playing a derby, anything is possible because that rivalry, that motivation, that spirit of challenge is there. It should be
Yeah,
there for. If it's not there, I don't think it's what to be called is you need to be called or worthy of being called a football club. If derby
ex-
cannot get you excited to perform, that's the end, to be honest. And this team, man, honestly, I don't know where the bottom is. We are still falling.
yeah,
So
definitely. Every manager
what's that
come.
space?
What's the problem
Mm-hmm.
now? What's the problem? We thought the manager, you change the manager, you change the players, and still there is still this nagging problem at United. It's sad to see, of course.
That's the team.
As a rival, of course, Liverpool fan, I will be happy to see that. But you know, not to this extent. At least you expect something from United. They're one of the biggest club in English football. So to fall like this and to not compete is just like very, 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 very bad, in my opinion.
Yeah. So the less said, the better. Like I said. um. Any more comments on any results or any games that we failed
Newcastle,
to mention?
Newcastle, we need to talk about them. They are looking like the deal. Another team that is looking like the since
They
the
beat
turn.
Southampton. That
Yeah,
is
they
impressive,
beat
man.
Southampton. They beat Brighton over their double game week, and it was a team that we did not consider too much in
Mm-hmm.
our wild cards and things like that
Just
because
free. Yeah, we talked about Fraser Foster.
yeah,
That's it.
exactly, and they are looking like this team. I think since 2022, only Liverpool
Since
have
they
more.
took over, yeah.
Yeah, since 2022, only Liverpool have more points than Newcastle in the league. So they are doing very well, and we are not paying attention. They have very cheap assets. I think it's a team that we should keep on our watch now.
Mm. That's impressive. Like, what position are they there? Are they now? They should be in a tenth or something or close.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they are now in the bottom. They are still in the bottom half, but in the upper half of the bottom half. So they are
Wow,
they are
that's
they are, they
impressive,
are
man.
quite. I think they should be fine. They should be fine now. You said it last
Mm.
week, but I think after these two wins, I think they should be in a very, very good position to stay in the league.
Okay. Yeah. So jumping on to a mini league update. It was a good week for the mini league. Our manager of the week is Amara Cole, last year's manager, Kotu Classic Mini League manager of the winner of the league, anyways.
Yeah, year before last, by the way. Yeah,
Oh, year before last.
yeah
Last year, who won?
last year it was what is the South African guy? And Andrew Henning won
Oh,
last
Henning,
year.
Henning. Yeah, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Okay. The year before last. This is the year that the coronavirus came in and we had the pause, and then he continued. He had a good second half of the season.
that was the
Okay.
season. That was the season I was leading to. I think for a very
For the
long
almost
time.
the whole
Yeah, and then
the
and
whole
then
time.
I lost it. I think that was a very good learning curve for me that season. I think it changed a lot in the way I play the game now.
Yeah. So congrats, Amara. Cool. Chicky Loftus for, yeah, I think he played the free hit and he had a score of 154, which is a monster of a haul, man.
Absolutely, and he's a
Uh,
top manager. He's a top manager. I think
yeah,
the
he's a
way
good
he play.
manager.
If you look at the way he manages his team, he's one of the top managers that we have in the Kotu Classic League. He has had a struggling season this season, so I think this 154 points will will boost him and
Give him a
then at least
boost. Yeah.
have a very good solid end of the season. And yeah, go through his team and let's see.
Okay, in his team, who do we have in goal? Um,
Jose
give me a
Sa.
second. Is this
And in defense, he had Cash. We did not talk about Cash.
Matic
29 points.
Cash? Like, I was we were focused on James and all these defenders
And
that did well.
Dean, yeah.
Where did Cash come from? With 29 points.
This is the fourth game in a row that Cash has returned. And this is the third game in a row that he has a double-digit return. Third game in a row. But we are paying too much attention to
Yeah,
Lucas
we do it
Digne.
to other players. Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
when
I
I saw
think
29, I was like, where did this guy come from with 29 points? All of a sudden,
yeah,
this
he never crossed my mind for my
man,
team, to be honest. So yeah, kudos to anybody who brought in Cash. It was a big return for him.
imagine if you
29
captain him.
29
Whew.
points. Wow, 29 points. But yeah, I'm not sure anybody will have captained him because I think not any, even if you bring him in your team, you will not expect this
You
29
wouldn't
points
think that
from
he
him.
would.
You will
Yeah,
not, yeah. So, but 29 points to get it from him, I think is a monster haul. Yeah. Yeah, he had Cash and James at the back and look Roman size. So the whole of his back four give him a clean sheet and some attacking returns. Jose Sa gave him the clean sheet as well. In the middle, he had Coutinho. Coutinho was his captain with 46 points.
46 points. Yeah,
Not so far off Cash. You had Mount in the middle too. Mount also with a 16 point. That's a monster haul too. Ward Prowse with 4 points. Rafinha with 3 points. And up top, Lukaku. I think he was also.
yeah. Look,
Yeah, that was the only sideways pick, but it could have worked. I think if you, yeah.
looking
He's
at
a,
Chelsea's fixture that they had, yeah, it could
yeah,
have, it could have
yeah.
returned.
He's a Chelsea fan too, I believe. So maybe he was thinking Lukaku still is gonna come,
Bit
especially
sentimental, huh?
those two fixtures. Yeah, those two fixtures could have been good for Lukaku if he started. And then he had Kane with the 13 points and Jimenez. Oh, he did not have any Liverpool player in the wild card. Wow, no Salah,
This
no
is this
Trent.
is this is how you do it. If you want to go free, you take the risk, man, and you get the
Yeah,
reward.
it's a 1 week punt, right? It's a 1 week punt, so
Yeah,
you can go wayward and then
I like I
you can
like I
go on.
like this team, to be honest. I like
Definitely,
this
it's
team.
a big pick. Yeah, it's a big team. Without Man City, without Liverpool, and then you come up with these points. It's exceptional. Well done.
Mhm.
Kudos to Amara Pablo Aima.
Yeah, well done,
Yeah,
well done, well done. This is like this is what they call legendary moves. Yeah,
absolutely,
so
absolutely.
congrats, Amara, for being the manager of the week. I'm looking at our top 5. There's barely any change.
No, we have top 6 today because you are just close to the door right now. You are just looking. You are just you are just knocking at the door. Look, knocking at the top 5 door. I want to see you up there, so that's why I just extended to the
top
6 because
6.
to see you in hopefully by the next couple of
I
games
keep
you should
dipping my toe and checking the temperature to see whether. Oh, but
yeah.
yeah, it's nice to see, man. So okay, I'm at 6th. Coming in, moving up to 6th. 5th is still Jibril Fall. No movement there. There's a movement from 3rd to 4th. Ahmed Jan Suleiman dropped down from 3rd to 4th, and then Andrew Henning, our winner from last season, is slowly climbing the ranks. Is now in 3rd, and Pratik Arora is still in 2nd, and yourself holding down the 4th with a monster 129. Look at that, 3 digits, extending the lead to almost, I think, more than 100 points. Yeah, plus.
Yeah.
Between you and 2nd. Yeah. So
yeah, he's here. 150 now. But nonetheless, I would like to say, like, I would like to mention, because I was just going on Twitter and I saw this guy, what is his name? FPL Focal. Do you hear of FPL Focal?
yeah, I think I've heard his name.
Yeah, he was like number 1 up to game week 19, like I say. He was number 1 in the overall ranking. So I was like 123 points behind him. So in 9 game weeks, I clawed back those points. Now I am 11 points ahead of him. So yeah, it is never say never. Yeah, it's 150 points right now. But if you are out there, I think you can still fancy your chances. You can keep going, even if you don't close the gap. But you can, even if you don't catch, you can try to close the gap because there is
I'm telling
always
you, man,
something to play for. Yeah.
If you look at somebody who's ahead of you by 100 and something points, because in one of my mini leagues, right, it's a small mini league, but there's a guy that's been doing exceptionally well, just like yourself. You know, he was ahead by like almost 200 points. And all of a sudden now he's like ahead by like 20 something points or something like that, close.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
you can
wow,
play
it's,
it back.
you know,
Just play the game right, and then make sure
yeah.
doing the right decisions,
Hmm.
doing the logical
Consistency.
decisions,
Yeah.
consistency. That is a big
Consistency
differential.
is key.
We don't
Yeah.
rate it that highly, but consistency
Hmm.
is just is a differential of its own.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about some stats, some facts about the game week. I think we teased this in on Twitter. We're gonna talk about some interesting facts and stats today. Stats summary. So Chama, take us
Yeah,
through.
yeah. Today I will start with the let's start with the team statistics. Then we look at the player stats. The team
Hmm.
statistics I just bring overall over the course of the season. Um, I know right now we are playing the game based on fixtures because any team that have double, we try to move towards there, and the other game week, these other teams double, and then we try to move there. But we have that's why we have not been doing a lot of stats these game weeks, these past few game weeks. But it's also important to remember the teams that have been doing well. So here I share the team statistics over the course of the season, like I always do. If I'm talking about defense, I rather look at the team rather than look at the individual players because at the end of the day, clean sheet is the first thing that you want from your defenders. Then you want to get the attacking return. But if you can get both, it's good. And looking at the season statistics, the left side is the attacking stats and the right side is the defensive stats. The attacking stat is sorted by expected goals, average expected goals over the course of the season. And if you look at that, at the top we have Liverpool with an average of 2.7 expected goals, scoring like 2.7 is almost similar to their goals. You have Man City at number 2, 2.4 expected goals, and they are also similar to their expected goals with 2.4 goals per game. They are averaging 2.4 goals per game. Chelsea are third when it comes to the attacking stats with 2.0, averaging 2.0 xg per game, and they have scored about 2.2 goals per game. Man United, in terms of attack, they are still up there at fourth place, not similar to what they are doing on the table, but in terms of
Hmm.
attacking statistics, their players are doing well. We know the Brunos, the Ronaldos. The only reason we are not owning them right now is because of they are not part of the doubles. So that's why. But when they were part of the doubles, they were the team that we were all rushing onto, and they are still there. Tottenham, they are climbing up that too. Now that we are talking about Kane, Kulusevski, and Son, now they are at fourth, fifth, and then Arsenal. I think this is the big six. Basically, they are the super six teams in England. They are at the top six, and then you look at the defensive statistics. Manchester City, I think they have been bossing this for the whole season. They are averaging 0.8. That is less than one chance per game. So you can be rest assured that they will give you a clean sheet every other game. So Manchester City is a very good team to own. Chelsea and Liverpool, they are at second with conceding an expected goal of one per game. So they are expected to concede a goal every game. They are expected to concede one goal. And you have Brighton, who have been doing very well defensively, but this season they have not been so impressive. Especially the last few game weeks, they have not been so impressive.
Yeah.
Arsenal are climbing up the rank. Crystal Palace at 6 and Tottenham at 7. And the teams that are overperforming the most when it comes to attack, you have Chelsea 0.3 overperformance. That is a bit high on the high side. And Aston Villa with 0.3, who were very impressive in the last game. And then the teams that are underperforming the most in terms of defense, they are Wolves, of course. They are overperforming the most, 0.5. They should have considered more goals. Like they should have considered 0.5 more goals per game, but they usually concede less. And that was why maybe in the double game week, one of their game they conceded a couple of goals. But they are still nonetheless a very good defensive team at nine place. This is the
Hmm.
overall team statistics. You look at the whipping boys in terms of defense. Leicester City are still there. Leeds United and Norwich. So these are the teams that we usually target for our captaincy and things like that. Newcastle are climbing up the rank now. So yeah, that's interesting. Now let's look at the player statistics where we will discuss a little bit. Because I think this week has been a very intense discussion about Son and Kane because many managers have owned Son for a very long time, and now Kane is coming into the fold. Now Kane is looking like the best pick at Tottenham, and people want to go to Kane, but they have Son. And the only way they can get him is by selling Salah, which is a no option. Nobody is gonna sell
Hmm.
Salah. So the other premium they have is usually Son. And if you have Son, if you want Kane, you have to downgrade a Son to get a Kane. I think this is a big question in the FPL community this week. Should we sell Son to with a hit to buy Kane? And I wanted to show the statistics in terms of their last 6 game weeks and the overall season, and to see that like if you look at the last 6 game weeks, from game week 23 to game week 28, this was the period where Kane was in an exceptional form, and Son was not in a great form because Kulusevski has come in and shared the goals, shared the chances, created. So that's all those kind of things. But if you look at the numbers here, of course, Salah is at the top. Mahrez, he was exceptional in this run. Mahrez, for him, we always know he will always be there if he plays. The only problem is Pep Guardiola is his problem.
Playing.
Yeah, Mane too. Since he came back from the Afcon, he's looking like
Yeah.
he's looking like back to himself. Sterling, as we know, the last few games before the last game against Manchester United, he was doing an exceptional job. And Kane is at number 5th, and Son. These are the two players that we want to talk about. You look at Kane and Son in terms of chance involvement. Every 19 minutes of a game, they are expected to they are involved in a chance. So they are equaling each other there. You look at big chances involved. Kane a little bit higher with 57 minutes per big chance and 63 minutes per big chance for Son. That is not a lot of difference, right? And then you look at the XGI, expected goal involvement per 90. Like they are, or expected goal involvement, minutes per expected goal involvement rather, 94 minutes for Son, for Kane, and 98 minutes for Son. That is not a lot of difference. And this is the period that Kane has been in exceptional form. You look at their expected points during that period. Kane is at 6.8 and Son is at 6.7, 0.1 difference. There is no difference there. And then the points they have been scoring, Son has outscored Kane over the last 6 game weeks in terms of average. He's averaging 6.6 points per game, and Kane is averaging 6.4 points per game. So Son they are all underperforming, but Kane is a little bit more underperforming than Son. He could have had more, but Son could have had more too as well. So there is no much difference when you look at their numbers in the last 6 game weeks. And then I move to the season statistics of these two players. Kane is at number 9 over the whole, like the top 20 players
Season,
Kane is over the season, and then Son is number 12. Average chances per minutes per chance involvement, 20 minutes each, no difference. Big chance involvement, Kane is 67 minutes and Son is 83 minutes, which is a little bit high. And then XGI is 105, 122. Kane is a little bit better there. And then you look at the goal involvement. Son is 110 minutes goal involvement. Kane is 164 minutes goal involvement. But we can remember that Kane at the start of the season, he was not the Kane of himself. So
yeah,
we can caveat that. Expected goals, expected points. Kane is at 6.2 per 90, and Son is at 6.1 per 90. And Son is averaging 6.6 points. Kane is averaging 4.6 points. So if you are talking about form, Son is in a better form if you are looking at actually. If you are talking about underlying numbers, Kane is a little bit slightly ahead of him. But at the end of the day, there is not much difference. Now let's add into the fact that Son has an extra point when he scores a goal. More than Kane. As a midfielder. Son has a clean sheet point if the team keeps a clean sheet as a midfielder. Of course, as a striker, you are more likely to have bonus points if you score than a midfielder. But I don't see that huge of a difference for people to be jumping from Kane to Son. Son to Kane, rather. Do you see it?
It depends. Like in an ideal situation, I would want to have both of them in my team.
Yeah.
But we all know it's almost not impossible, but it's almost like very difficult to have Kane, Son, and Salah in your team and still have a really good all-round starting 11 that is competitive enough, like let's say template.
Yeah.
So like I think there are scenarios around it. If you want to prioritize Kane in your team right now, because for me he's the one on form, you can go ahead. Kulusevski is now part of he's now, like, let's say, forcing his way into this duo. You can now consider him like the third wheel in this team because he's doing well, even though he's 6.1 million, very cheap, compared to Son and Kane, and their prices are really high. He's somebody that you can consider. It's either you go with, for me, in my case, I went Kane and Kulusevski. Kulusevski is not necessarily going to cover Son. Nobody can cover Son apart from Son. But at least he will be part of the points. Ideal scenario is to have Kane and Son, right? You can have Son and Kulusevski too, but you can make an argument for either one. Kane is on penalties. Like you just said, Son is a midfielder. He has that extra point as a midfielder when he scores goals. You understand? If you watch their game, all three are involved. But I wouldn't take a hit and bring in Kane. That is something I wouldn't do. If you have only Son, I think, and you can easily go to Kane, then that's fine. But if you can find a way and own Son and Kulusevski, that also can cover you. But maybe Kane is the talk of the moment, like a striker who's, because we already know that strikers this season have not been doing well. Right now, he's the only striker that I feel like he's doing a striker's job. But don't overstretch and try to get him at the expense of disposing of Son. It might come back to bite you. It's like a sideways move in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah.
That's where I also that's where what I think too as well. I think it's a sideways move because the difference is not much between them. Both of them will start. Yeah. They are the top players at Tottenham. Maybe Son will be more likely to be substituted after 70 minutes.
He was
substituted last game. But but still it's close between them. So yeah, it's like you say, to have both of them is the best situation to be in this coming game weeks. But if you cannot, I don't think. Of course, if you are on a wild card or if you are on a free hit, Kane will be the first choice to consider because, like we just say, he's the one looking on form in like recent few games, 2 or 3 game weeks. If you look form based on 3 game weeks, but if you look at it like 6 game weeks, Son is a little bit ahead when it comes to points, expected points, and things like that. But like you say, strikers are very limited this season. So if we see a striker who is doing well, we might want to go.
You all want to jump in, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing there. But yeah, I want to get both of them, to be honest. But yeah, currently I'm on Son, and if I cannot get, I will get Kane in any scenario possible, except trying to sell Salah or a Son. That's where
exactly. I think that's the limit. You can't really do that because it might come back to haunt you. Salah is non-negotiable, to be honest. So,
yeah. Any other names that we should
I saw Elanga there.
That is the last 6 games.
Right after Son, that's super impressive. I never expect to have a Manchester United player anywhere close to that top 10. But here we are.
Especially now considering United, we don't want to spend too much on them because we are not sure about them. So Elanga could be a very good option to consider. Yeah, and another name we need to mention is Doherty. He has come to the Tottenham team. There are some interesting.
The emergence.
He did. Yeah. He. How do they call it? He has come back to life again. So hopefully he will stay, and he's somebody I am thinking about. But there are some interesting names that like Luis Diaz, Mateta at Crystal Palace. Of course, we're not gonna think about him this week because they don't have any fixture. Harvey Barnes. Leicester is gonna be an important team
coming forward. Yeah.
Yeah, so he should be somebody we should be thinking about. Sancho is there too. De Bruyne against Mania, he was exceptional, but with De Bruyne, I think he will be important in important games. And then when you come to he will get the odd benching just to save him because the season games that Man City expect to win, I think De Bruyne can be rested because he's clever. But of course, he is exceptional. He is one of the best players he's if not the best player in the league, I would say one of the best. I still rate him that highly, maybe top 2, maybe along with Salah. I would say they are the best players in the Premier League, in my opinion.
But I think I have I think in the when Man City were leading by a few points and everybody was expecting that they would win the league.
Yeah,
he wasn't playing much because they didn't need him.
Yeah,
but now that things are looking a bit tricky with them since they dropped points, he is coming back into the fold because I think they need him in this scenario. He's one of their more senior players, like a talisman in the team. So I expect him to play more. I think they might just try to go for both the league and Champions League as well. I hope he doesn't get injured because they need him right now.
That's the problem.
Liverpool
exactly.
Is breathing down their neck. Liverpool is breathing down their necks right now. So they could lose. If they lose against Liverpool, that means the league is gone.
Yeah, so, definitely. And another player we should mention, he has underperformed a bit. That is Welbeck. What is he doing in between Kane and Son?
He's 6, huh? Yeah, impressive.
He's 6 when it comes to like minutes per expected points over the last 6 game weeks. He was averaging an expected point of 6.8. He scored 4.5, a little bit underperformed. But again, the problem there is rotation. They have a double game week as well, but there is Mope who's gonna start, so you never know. And Mahrez,
Mope is not there, and it's Mahrez, man. Welbeck, I'm surprised to find him there. We might be ignoring him, but if they have a double game week, I'm sure that people or managers should really start looking into that.
Yeah, but the problem is, look at his appearance. He
Three,
played
three,
6 games,
half of his,
and
yeah,
half
half of
of his
his
games
appearance have
where
been subs.
he has been sub on, so things
Mhm.
like that. So you are not gonna be guaranteed the start there. Mahrez too,
Yeah,
you see 5 games, 2 of those were sub on. So those are the
substitutions.
problems that you encounter with them. You wanna have the nail assets and things like
Mhm.
that. Yeah, but Man City is not a topic for this week because I don't think anybody will be considering buying a Man City asset because they have a single game week and then they blank the
And
following game week.
they don't blank in that.
So it's not
They
a
blank
team
in that, yeah.
that we are
Hmm.
considering. Yeah. Yeah, that's I think this table could be very handy when it comes to game week 31. After game week 31, we can revisit the tables and see which players are doing well, especially Leicester players. They will become handy after that. But I think that yeah, that's good for just to recap ourselves about the statistics, the players who are doing well, and then now let's go to the the interesting stuff, the fixtures, the double game weeks, things like that, right?
Yeah. Let's look at the fixtures, double game week 29 fixtures. I think, like we mentioned last pod, which is the double game week 28, we were already saying that 28 was the easier double than 29, because in 29, I think apart from a small team, which I can't really remember off the top of my head, they
Everton.
had a slightly easier. Everton had slightly easier like double in 29 than everybody else. But the
Yeah,
rest, they have one difficult game and one easy game, or two grays where it's like you can go either way. So let's look
definitely.
at the fixtures. Let me just go through them quickly. We have Brighton against Liverpool, Brentford against Burnley, Man United against Spurs, Chelsea, Newcastle, Everton, Wolves, Leeds, Norwich, which is a very good game, but it could go either way. Those of
Yeah.
us that have Rafinha, it's going to be like a very close call. Either you sell him for an Arsenal player, or you keep him and keep the faith. Yeah, we also have Southampton, Watford, West Ham, Aston Villa, Arsenal, Leicester, Crystal Palace, Man City, Brighton, Spurs, Arsenal, Liverpool, Everton, Newcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everything we are talking about their fixtures being the easier ones. But if you look at it
Mhm.
and look at the teams they are playing right now,
They're playing, yeah.
Wolves and Newcastle. Newcastle, maybe 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, we will say Newcastle is an easy fixture. You cannot say that today because Newcastle have been
No.
doing exceptionally well. Wolves, we all know, is one of the hardest. Regardless of what form they are in, we know they can turn up and they can defend well and they can make it very hard for any team, even the bigger teams like
Mhm.
Liverpool have faced and Manchester City have Manchester United, Arsenal, they have all struggled against this Wolves team. So Everton fixtures are not going to be as easy as we think it
That,
was.
yeah.
The
Mhm.
only thing the only reason why we thought it was an easy fixture because they play both fixtures at home, but it's not the easiest fixture in my opinion. And considering Everton are so bad and the teams they play, so it's not that great.
Yeah. I think I was calling for the fixture difficulty ticker to be kind of like an evolving type of ticker. You
Yeah.
understand, based on current form.
Yeah.
If they could make it that way, it would be easier. If they could make it that way, then there's no way that these two fixtures would be green for Everton.
Definitely.
Maybe
That's
you
the,
just slightly
yeah,
be red and gray or something like that.
yeah, definitely, definitely. That's why the Premier League fixture ticker is just for you just see it like
Beginning
this.
of the
But
season, yeah.
yeah, just look at it. And but I think it's better to use the fixture ticker of other like stats provider like the Fantasy Football Hub or Fantasy Football Scout. These fixture tickers are very like they base it on the form and how the teams are progressing. So they keep changing it.
Currently, yeah.
It's dynamic.
Yeah,
So those are the
I
better
think that
fixture
makes
ticker.
sense. That
And
makes
that's the
sense.
one I use. For example, right now we have the fixture ticker here for the next 6 game weeks. And the two teams that pop up are the teams that we are targeting. Arsenal and
Of course,
Tottenham.
Arsenal.
Yeah, these are the two teams people are targeting
Yeah.
right now, and they are at the top of the fixture ticker. Leeds are not far off, but Leeds have been very uninspiring in the last few games, changing the manager. We don't know what to expect there. And Leicester City are coming up fourth, and we know Leicester have 3 games to reschedule. So after this blank game week, after this double game week, Leicester City will be a very team of big interest for FPL managers because of the doubles they have, and they have some
Mhm.
cheap assets there. But
Barnes.
yeah,
Yeah.
let's look at
Barnes is my target. Yeah.
Barnes. Yeah,
Mhm.
Barnes is one, and Thomas. I like Thomas for me personally. He's their left back, and they don't have any other left back right now. Castagna is injured till April, and Bertrand I think is out for the season. Pereira is out, so they don't. He's the only natural left back they have, so he's gonna start, and he's a cheap asset. But looking at the Arsenal, like Spurs, let's start with Spurs. I think we discussed a lot about Spurs. Is Son is the three attacking players and Doherty.
The three
Any
now, yeah.
any other players
Four,
that you want?
four players.
4 players, yeah. Any
Spurs
other
is
player?
only. I could have gone with Doherty and what's his name again? The left back.
Reguilon.
Reguilon, because the other competing left back is injured.
Sessegnon, yeah.
Sessegnon is injured, so he might have a few. And he looks, if you watch Reguilon play, he looks very, very explosive. You know, I'm surprised that he really hasn't evolved as a player, you know, since he's come to Tottenham. But he scored a goal when he came on. And
yeah,
if I was
first touch.
first touch, yeah. If I was supposed to go, but the thing is, Doherty has been very consistent in the last 5 games, like you said. He only was subbed, came in on once as a sub. But then right now, I think Conte has found that, oh, this is what I was looking for all this while. It's right here. There's no way. It's now his place to lose.
Absolutely.
And he's also cheap at 4.7. Regular is probably higher.
5.1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I want to be kind of like a differential guy, I might go with Regulion. But now, looking at everything else that we have seen so far in the last few game weeks, Doherty is like a shoe-in for me.
Absolutely.
Doherty,
and Doherty, Conte said some very nice words about him. I had his like press conference yesterday, and he was very impressed with him in terms of how he understands what he expects from him, what he has to do tactically when it comes to the analytical side of the game, where he should be and things like that. Conte is very impressed with him, and that could only be a good thing, because if the manager, you are doing what the manager wants, it means you're gonna play. And we know Doherty, if he plays and he's confident, he's one of the very best FPL defensive assets we have owned over the past few seasons. So he could be a very interesting one, yeah. And then I think the attack, you mentioned it, Kane is the best option right now, followed by Son. Right then you have Kulusevski. But Kulusevski is the cheap one option with 6.1 million. If you look at him in isolation at 6.1 million, I don't think there are many 6 million bracket players better than him in the game right now. So, but yeah, Tottenham are looking like a team to invest in. But again, their inconsistency is the only worry there. But we hope with the form they are in, or the form they showed in the last 2 games, be it against Leeds and Everton, those woeful teams, we expect it to be a little bit like it should.
And they did it. They did it against a big team like Manchester City. They were clinical in that game.
Absolutely.
So, like on their day, they can beat anybody.
Yeah.
Like a small team or a big team with their tactics, because they have the runners and they know exactly what they're doing. They're not trying to be a team that is playing, one-touch football. No, they're going to counter-attack you and score. And
definitely. Yeah, Arsenal. Let's move to Arsenal.
I haven't seen Arsenal play, to be honest, but I've been hearing good things. And Arsenal haven't been up there with the best, but I really wish that they will qualify for top 4 and we see them in the Champions League again. Even though it's Arsenal, it's a rival team, but I like the team because it's a young, dynamic team.
Yeah, definitely. It's a young, dynamic team. Attack is exceptional. Odegaard is a joy to watch. Of course, I prefer other FPL assets there, but if it's just to watch a football player in the team, Odegaard is the player I want to watch in that Arsenal team.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, and in terms of other like assets for FPL, I would say Saka is the number 1 pick there. Like, he has gone up a level, like I said earlier. And Martinelli, 5.3 million. You cannot get anything better at 5.3 million. And I think, if not for his red card, I would have still owned him instead of Saka. I rate him that highly. I think he is more of the player that, that is more
explosive type, like has a higher ceiling.
Exactly. He's the player who is in the positions I want my player to be as an FPL asset. It's Martinelli more than Saka. Saka can score goals from long range, he can dribble past people, cause trouble a lot of the time, play 1-2s here and there, create assists. But Martinelli is so clinical and he's so direct in the way he plays. That's why I like him.
He's a very direct player, yeah.
He's a very direct player. That's why I like him. But Lacazette too is not a bad asset. We are talking about not having a lot of strikers. I think over the last 6 game weeks, Lacazette has averaged the highest number of FPL points for strikers, if I'm not wrong. Or he's number 2 after Kane, maybe. So he's also a striker who is sticking along with the points. He's giving consistent points, not scoring goals, but making a lot of assists here and there, which is
involvement.
Also,
involvement.
He's also involved in a lot of stuff. Yeah. How about their defense now? I think their defense has kind of dropped a little bit. They are conceding a few number of goals. Ramsdale is now almost conceding every other game. Tierney is not attacking like he used to bomb forward in the past. So defensive wise, I don't like it too much for Arsenal. I would rather invest more in their attack than their defense. What do you think of that?
I haven't watched them play, like I said, but obviously, if the defense was doing well, we'll hear it in the in the FPL Twitterverse. But we
Yeah,
haven't really heard anything. We are just going off of what they did in the past.
yeah.
Kane was really explosive asset, and Gabriel was also one of the
Set
defensive
piece.
players that had like
Great.
one of these set piece threats. So Ramsdale, I brought in my first wild card. I still haven't let him go yet. He's still in my team. But I think the points have slowed down a bit, to be honest, when it comes to their defense.
Definitely,
But they're
definitely.
getting it done. They're getting it. It's like it's you can say conceding 2 against Watford is not too reassuring if you have their defense or their keeper. But yeah, the money should go to the attack, most definitely. They're the ones on form. They're the ones that are doing it week in and week out right now.
Definitely. How about Leeds United?
Leeds, man. I think Leeds is only Rafinha. If Rafinha, like you said, in their second game in the double game in double game 28, if he like felt like if you look at him and you feel like he doesn't want to be there or he was so discouraged, I don't think I might just transfer him out this game week.
Yeah, but he's playing your favorite. He's playing your favorite team. What do you make of that?
Norwich. That's why I'm saying it's a bit difficult. I'm a Norwich anti-fan. Anybody that plays Norwich is
Yeah, but
it's
but
difficult
also
for me. Yeah, it's difficult
for you.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
because
Also, Bamford.
I want an Arsenal player,
Yeah, but
and
also
that's the only route
Bamford
I'm
is
seeing
back.
that. Mhm.
Okay, I mean Bamford is back
But
too,
did
and
he
he
do
played.
well in the second game?
Of course, when he came on, they were already 3 down, so you cannot you cannot take a lot from what he did. But to see him back,
Mm,
their talismanic striker, we all know what he could do in the past. He has
mm,
proven in the Premier League when he's fit, he's one of their, he's usually involved in their goals. Of course, that was on the Bears. That this is a new coach. I don't know how does that affect him as an
mhm.
asset yet until we see he play well. But yeah, just to mention that he's back, and Rafinha wanna play with quality players, and in terms of his creativity, if he does not have that striker who finishes the chances that he creates,
Mm.
it does not help much. So having Bamford can also
Yeah.
improve Rafinha in another way.
Okay.
Don't you think so?
I think so because if you're a talisman, you are relied heavily upon to create. But if you have a support like a striker who you can create and then he finishes off the chances. But if your striker is not there, you are expected to create and score those chances, which is too
And he
much for
suffered
a
a lot.
player.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that can even impact on your confidence as well. You can't really do everything.
yeah.
But yeah, I think I might stick with him for this game week and then in 30 just transfer him out and bring in an Arsenal player.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Nice,
We'll see how it goes.
nice. But
Any other player that has a single that we might consider? I
um,
think Bowen is injured, so yeah,
Bowen
just
is out. I think the single game week players is difficult for this game week. Only the players maybe we have like the Wolves players, they play Everton, but again it's not the greatest because we want them on the game week 30. I think for singulars, not much to consider. Even Manchester City, Cancelo, we're not sure if he will be back or not. So he's not a player to consider. Man United, they play Tottenham at home, but again, Man United, we don't know. Apart from Elanga, who do you want to go there with right now? You don't want to invest your money there.
Sancho, yeah, but it's an investment, yeah. That
Yeah,
is not. I think the main if you're not playing a free hit in 30, I think the main objective would be to try and bring players that are going to play in 30 because it's a big blank.
yeah, that's
So
Leicester
yeah.
City. Leicester City, they will play in 30, and then they will have some very good run of fixtures with the doubles to come. So Leicester is a team that we should target. But I think you mentioned the best player to target there, which is Barnes, Harvey
Right
Barnes.
now it's France, yeah.
Vardy is injured. Madison is in and out of the team
In and
all the time
out,
with
yeah.
injury, so you cannot trust him. So maybe Barnes
Maybe Amate, you never know. Amate
Yeah,
is now
Amate has been
consistent.
doing well, and yeah, he has been helping them keep a few clean sheets. But the problem there is Fofana is back, and
Oh,
he was out with a broken leg, and a broken leg is not an injury. It's not an injury I think you need to ease in. If the injury is healed completely, I think it's a player who can play, who can come back in and play. Maybe he just need to find the match fitness again, and once he find that, maybe Amate will be back on the bench. So Amate is a very short term pick. I think Fofana before the end of the season he will be in the team again. So Amate I will not go there unless you want him for enabler. Like for myself, I can get him because I already played my bench boost. So I don't care. I can bench him every other game week until the end of the season. But yeah, I would rather go with Luke Thomas. He's 4.3 million. He's their starting left back. Like I said earlier, they don't have a lot of options at left back right now, and he has been pretty consistent for them this season. So he's a player who I like a lot. He attacks. He has not given a lot of attacking returns. I think he only have one attacking return in terms of an assist, but still he's a very like good player, young player. So maybe I think Brendan trusts him, so he could be a very good enabler and a good pick for the doubles when you wanna bench boost or something like that for people who still have the bench boost.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
So finally, let's just talk about our teams for double game week 29. I think at least this is the last double for a while now, because it's been crazy for the last 6 game weeks. Things have been exceptionally, mad.
Crazy. Yeah. That's your team here. So what's your plan?
My plan, as it stands, is Rafinha. He's the only one that is like keeping me guessing. Let me just go through the team. I'm playing a 3-5-2, back to my regular season formation. I have Ramsdale.
3-4-3.
Sorry, 3-4-3. Oh yeah, 3-4-3. Sorry, I just changed it. Okay, let me just go with this one. 3-4-3. I have Rudiger, Trent, and Tierney, and I have Ramsdale in goal. I have Kulusevski, Salah, Rafinha, and then Gordon, who has double fixtures. And then I have up top, I have Jimenez, who was supposed to be out this game week because he just disappointed me in the first part of the double in 28. But he scored, so he's been given a second chance.
How about Coutinho? He scored big. Why did you bench him?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I brought him in right now. I'm just going with this one, but I already made a few changes to my team. Yeah, Broha, and then Kane, captain. But in my alternative team, I just changed it before we came on. I'm playing a 3-5-2. The back is still the same: Rudiger, Trent, and Tierney. And let me see, Tierney. And then in the midfield, I think Coutinho comes in
for Broha, right?
Coutinho comes in for Broha. Broha is on the bench, first bench.
Yeah, he has not been so impressive in the last few games.
Exactly, I've heard a few things, so I don't think he's going to start.
Well,
and Dean is also on the bench.
Yeah, I am saying he has not been impressive in the red that I did not watch the game. I don't know. I just want to clarify. I say he's not been impressive. I did not watch the game. I did not watch their game. I did not see.
But you heard that he hasn't been impressive.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah, and he did not score. Sometimes maybe the unimpressive thing is just because he did not score, but maybe he performed well in the game, and that can be the case. So I don't know which is which.
Yeah, but I think that's why I went with Coutinho, because he came off a very impressive game, double game week 28. So I can, looking at the type of strategy that I employ in my FPL teams, I can't really bench Coutinho because it doesn't bode well with me. So he plays.
Okay.
He plays.
You have how many doublers? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 doublers out of 11. So four players not doubling. That's not bad.
That's not bad. That was the intention, playing the wild card in 28 anyway. So yeah, I don't queue. How about your team? Captaincy, like before we move on, captaincy is between Kane and Salah. I have a feeling, even though I'm a Manchester United fan, that Tottenham is going to destroy us. But if Salah is doubling, it's very difficult not to captain Salah. You don't want to miss out because it's a double for Salah, one of the best consistent outright players this season without even a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. So I might just back to captain Salah and just keep it simple.
We are talking about him not having a good form, not scoring in the last few games or something like that. But then when we look at the player statistics over the last 6 game weeks, he's right there at the top in terms of chances, big chances, involvement, XGI. He's just underperforming. Yeah,
he's underperforming seriously.
Yeah. So yeah, it's Salah. So at the end of the day, I just wanted to point.
Don't risk it. I don't want to risk it. I was getting ahead of myself for a few minutes, but yeah.
Yeah, let's look at my team. Yeah, I am planning to bring on the dog, how they call it, the dog. And I have Ramsdale in goal, Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Roman Saez currently in my defense. And then in the middle, I have Rafinha, Son, Salah, and Saka. And then up top, I have Jimenez, Lacazette, and Broha. So I have one transfer to make, but I could make up to 4 transfers. So that's where I am. I could make 2. I could make 4. Those are the 2 options I have. And if I make 4 transfers, what I'm thinking is Van Dijk might go out of my team. He's doubling. But Liverpool have an issue with COVID again. And Van Dijk was not seen in training pictures yesterday. Club did not mention which players has been for COVID. So the guess is because Van Dijk was not in these team photos, he could be the one who might be him. And I will try to wait until tomorrow because Liverpool play the first game. So you can have a league team news. Usually they will have it. Still this thing is existing. People are still getting the league team news. It's still existing. So you will know if Van Dijk plays or not. If he is not playing, I will get rid of him. Reece James, who is injured and not available for this game week. Get rid of Lacazette, which will be very hurtful for me because he has been doing well in my team since he came in. And get rid of Ramsey. So gotta get rid of these 4 players. And the 4 players that I plan to bring in, Doherty is gonna be the one of the players who will come in for sure. For Reece James, even if Van Dijk is gonna stay. And then I'm gonna bring in Martinelli and then have the double up between Martinelli and Saka. Bring in Harry Kane. And so yeah, that's it. And bring in Thomas, who I can keep in my team for the later part of the season. So
Rafinha stays.
Rafinha stays. If Van Dijk is the one injured, if Van Dijk is not available, then Rafinha can stay because I want him for Norwich. But if it means I have to sell him, I don't mind selling him because he has not been impressive, right? But I want him for the Norwich game. If I can keep him, I will start him for the Norwich game. So in like if I have to summarize it, I will get rid of Van Dijk, Reece James, Ramsey, and Lacazette to bring in Doherty, Harry Kane, Martinelli, and Thomas. This is one option. If I don't do that, I can bring in Kulusevski and Doherty, the 2 Tottenham players, and I will dig this Kane transfer and then just get rid of Van Dijk or James and somebody else if Van Dijk is fit.
You've been thinking about it a lot. Yeah, that's a good transfer to make.
And captain is captain is Salah. No, I'm not. I have the triple captain. I know many are considering playing in it because he's having the double game week this week. But I want to keep that triple captain chip for me for the later stage of the season.
You haven't played your triple captain yet?
No, I've not played my triple captain. I still have the triple. Yeah, you remember
why do I think that you played your triple captain?
No,
you wildcarded instead.
I wildcarded that game week instead.
When you were supposed to triple captain.
When I was supposed to triple captain. So now, if I keep it for the later stage of the stage of the season, Liverpool will have another double. Man City could have a double. Tottenham could have another double down the line. So many teams could have a double down the line. So maybe another good double game week will come in. I cannot see it now. I don't know. We cannot forecast it. But it could be a good double could come up, and maybe a better triple captain option could be there. It could. I might not even triple captain Salah. I don't mind. As far as I have a very good double game week with another team, I can do it.
You might triple captain.
So, yeah.
I think it's a good idea to have one chip at the back of your pocket just for the next, after game week 30 to the last game 38. You never know, something might pop up and you take advantage. So that's what I'm keeping my free hit for that. Doesn't matter how late it is, as long as they announce a big double, which I'm anticipating in 36, I'll use it.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm anti using free hit in a big double or something like that. I would rather use it in a very low game week score where I expect to. I just try to maximize the point. But the free hit in game week 28, it worked really well for somebody like us. I think he racked up 133 points on the free hit. And then you remember the last game week when everybody was free hitting, myself included, I got the 57 points. So you can see the points disparity, the difference between the points. It was huge. So yeah, the free hit, it could work on the double game. I just don't fancy it, but I think it's also a very viable option.
I think you said something to me that FPL is like about accumulating points.
Yeah.
That's when it changed in my mind. If you played in a double game week where everybody has enough fixtures, but you have a chance of getting the best players for that particular game week, and you'll have more points than them. Even doesn't matter, everybody's on 100, but you have like, example, 150 something, and everybody has
Yeah.
like
Then
110.
the
It's still a lot
difference
of gap.
the difference is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, yeah, okay, let me just skip it just in case. You never know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've come to the end of the pod. Jama, please close us out with a plug.
Yeah, guys. This is the Kotu Classic FPL podcast, as you know, and it's one of the one of the like shows we have on the Jello Football Bantaba YouTube channel. If you are new around to this channel, please consider subscribing to our channel. This is the Jello Football Bantaba YouTube channel. We do a lot of stuff about football, Gambian football, fantasy football, and sometimes we try to just chat about football in general. So give us a support and by subscribing. And if you like this podcast, please give us that thumbs up. It helps this podcast a lot in terms of visibility, in terms of helping the YouTube algorithm, like they say it. I don't know how it works, but please, guys, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel, guys. And again, have a great double game week. The last like the last one we have for the next few game weeks at least. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's been a good pod, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting the pod as always. Hopefully we catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.
Yeah, goodbye, guys.